Spindle Horse released a brand new short today featuring Moxie and Blitz. This is the 6th short that they have released, and it is the 2nd short to be fully written by the newest writer, Lyle Rath. As per usual within this video, I will go through what happens in the short, and afterwards I will point out any details I have noticed as well as my thoughts on the video. If you enjoy this sort of content, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments what you think about the short. Now, let's get started. The short starts off with a mission brief being laid out onto the table like it typically does. The bounty has a picture of a man on it. He has a very normal name, being called Joe Schmo, and we find out the location of the short, which is somewhere in New Mexico. The description the person gave for wanting him dead was loitering racistly, which is definitely an interesting statement. We then transition to Blitz and Moxie driving through a motorway, where Blitz is aiming a sniper out of the car window at the target. He is using his feet to steer and his tail to accelerate. Moxie is irritated by Blitz's driving, so he takes the gun, aiming it at the target's head. Unfortunately, he misses due to Blitz being cut off by a sports car. The target's car swerves out of control and drives off of a road and down into a canyon, exploding. Moxie assumes that the mission is over, and while he is correct, they're not going home just yet. Blitz becomes furious at the sports car that cut him off and decides to chase him. Moxie tries to talk Blitz out of going after the driver, but Blitz is adamant. Moxie still argues with Blitz and says that he's overreacting. Blitz then catches up with the driver and tells him to roll his window down. The man complies and we get to see his face. He looks like he's out of his mind, either high or manically insane. After keeping up with the driver for a while, Blitz brake checks the driver. He plants his car into a petrol truck and propels the car with an explosion into a billboard, where he gets launched out of the windscreen and gets the skin on his back scraped off. Moxie and Blitz confront him and we find out that he just wants to see his son for his 18th birthday. But not for a wholesome reason, like one might think. Blitz keeps his promise that he wouldn't kill the driver, and Moxie is confused as to why Blitz is just casually looking past this. Moxie decides to kill the man himself and gets into the car, traumatized. They then have a nice exchange, making fun of other drivers, and the short ends from there. So what details did I see throughout this short? Well, actually, there's a few that I would like to talk about, compared to the last short where there weren't any at all. Firstly, we see 2 DIY dolls of Millie and Moxie that Blitz has in a previous episode of the show. Secondly, when Blitz says this,
"But he's going to blow his son!"
Yeah, I told you that when he first cut me off. Now get in the car.
he wasn't lying as he says this earlier in the short.
I don't know, probably to go blow his fucking son!
I like these sorts of details in storytelling, especially since it's something so ridiculous I didn't actually think it was going to happen later on. Also, inside Blitz's car is a car ornament of a horse, because Blitz has an obsession with horses. There are also draping flags, maybe to symbolize his love for being a circus performer. There is also this red hat with white text that Blitz wears in the episode. Fans have speculated that this hat is supposed to be Vivian making fun of Trump supporters, as it has a very close resemblance to MAGA hats. However, I'm not going to look too much into that. So what did I think of the short? Well, to be honest, it was okay, but definitely not great. I have some positives, but also some negatives that I would like to talk about. Starting off with the positives, in terms of writing, this is definitely an improvement from Lyle's previous short. While I don't find myself laughing too much at the jokes, a lot of the visual jokes that Lyle wrote into the short definitely had me laughing in places. The pacing of this short was definitely good. It didn't feel like it was 5 minutes long, but instead I feel like I watched a 3-minute video. Moving on to the negatives, I think the main complaint I have is with the animation. The number one thing I don't like to see whenever I watch an animated show or an anime is moving still images. The most famous example I can think of that uses this way too often to the point where it became a meme is Blue Lock's anime. Animation studios will do this either when they don't have enough budget or they're pushed for time. Unfortunately, some of the moving objects in this short were just still images with minimal animation, and it's disappointing to see that because it's clear that the budget of the animation looks as high as it's ever been. Furthermore, there has also been some use of 3D animation to animate certain parts of scenes. This can be fine in some cases where you're using it for effects like fire or flowing water in the background. However, one of the scenes that they used this for was the car falling into the canyon, and it throws you off a little when it's the main focus of a shot. It messes with the consistency of the animation and it just feels off. Overall, the short was okay. Lyle did a better job on this short, but I don't like the laziness of the animation because I know for a fact that they can do so much better. However, as I always say, I am only one person, so I would like to know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching and be sure to support the channel by subscribing. See ya.